One day, your great-grandchildren may look at your photograph and ask, who was this person? It happened to a boy named Daniel. He was 16 years old when his grandfather passed away, and in the quiet days after the funeral, he climbed into the old attic and found a dusty wooden box, pushed into a corner where no one had looked in years. Inside, Daniel found old photographs with faded edges, handwritten letters tied with string, a military medal that still caught the light, and a wristwatch whose hands had long stopped turning. He carried the box downstairs and asked his father about every object, but his father could only shake his head. The grandfather had never spoken of those years. He had carried his whole life in silence. That box held the evidence of an extraordinary life, but the stories behind those objects had almost disappeared with the man who lived them. Then, at the very bottom of the box, Daniel found an old audio recorder. He pressed play, and his grandfather's voice filled the room, steady and warm, as if he were sitting right there beside him. The old man spoke of leaving school at 14 to support his family. He spoke of the years he worked to open a small grocery shop, and of the flood that swept through the town and took nearly everything he had built. And he spoke of that terrible night when he risked his own life, again and again, to pull trapped people from the rising water. That act of courage, he said quietly, was the story behind the medal. Then his voice grew softer still, and he spoke the words Daniel would carry for the rest of his life. I was never a famous man, but everything I did was for the family that would come after me. Difficult beginnings do not decide how your story will end. In that single moment, Daniel and his father finally understood the sacrifices, the courage, and the love that had been hiding behind those old photographs for so many years. And here is the truth that story leaves with every one of us. Legacy is not only money, it is not property or fame or success. True legacy is the wisdom we share, the values we protect, the mistakes we admit, the sacrifices we make, and the stories that help the generations after us understand where they came from. Think about your own life, the one you are living right now. Your story, the ordinary one you might call unremarkable, could one day give courage to a grandchild facing failure. It could guide a family member who feels lost. It could carry a future generation through a difficult season. But it can only do that if it is told. An untold story cannot guide anyone. A memory that is never preserved will eventually disappear. You do not have to be famous for your life to matter. So do not leave behind photographs that no one can explain. Do not let your struggles, your sacrifices, and your wisdom disappear with time. Write your story, record your memories, preserve the lessons your life has taught you. Your story is not only a record of your past, it may become the light that guides someone's future. Begin preserving your legacy today with e-autobiography, because every life deserves to be remembered.